Hello my friends, and welcome to a special alpha look at Forgotten but Unbroken. This is an alpha, so this is like a technical demo, if you will. Unfortunately, the options screen has not been implemented yet, so I cannot kill the incredibly loud menu music. So we're gonna move in. I'm gonna move into a mission quickly so I can actually talk. So as you can see, since this is an alpha, you can't see attributes or perks or much more than just the character screen for each character. Right, let's get in the game. Let's get into the game so I can actually talk about the game. I don't think there's any way to actually kill the music at all, which may make talking over the game quite difficult. I suppose what I can do is... the music's really good, by the way. It's, you know, I'm not doing this because I have any problem with the music. It's just that the music obviously drowns me out, so... Let's see if I can... kill the audio a bit. Okay. That should do it. Okay, so as an alpha, obviously the content is not in the game at all. It's just a demonstration of the game's mechanics. So keep that in mind. But the game has got a lot of promise, so I thought, since I was offered the opportunity to have it on the channel, I thought, why not? Let's have it on the channel. So, first things first, of course. Looks pretty nice. I don't have a state-of-the-art graphics card or anything, but looks pretty good to me. I can't zoom in any more than this, which is a little bit annoying. So my first bit of feedback would be, let me zoom in a bit more. But you can rotate the camera, so that's fine. No problem there.
Monsieur, je bouge.
So we got a mounted gun here. It does not show the range of the weapon. It shows the arc, but not the range. I would personally like to actually see a proper arc to aim.
Va au diable.
Yeah, see, how was I to know that these two were close enough, but this one was too far away? Without a range marker, it's not possible to know that. So the game is using a Jagged Alliance style AP system. I've mentioned many times that I do not think that having AP for both movement and attacking is necessarily good design, because it leads to turreting, which is where people just sit still and fire constantly.
You got it.
Because why would you waste AP moving if you
Go to hell!
If you
Sir,
can
yes,
use that
sir.
same AP to be shooting.
I'm moving.
It leads to very static gameplay. That's my main issue with it. You can spend additional action points to aim your shots. So there's, you know, there's some real Jagged Alliance inspiration here.
Już się robi.
For sure.
Robi się.
Been quite unlucky so far.
Szybko!
Plenty of 50-50 shots and not actually landed any of them.
Oké, baas. Mannen, kom op!
This tree is high cover.
Oké, baas.
Ty twoja synem pomagają mi všechny ludzie.
Alright, I think this guy's French. It's like they're going for all the characters to have their own personalities, which is quite nice.
Du Schwein!
Scheiße!
I know what that means.
Fahr zur Hölle! Ich brauch Deckung!
Oh, there's a guy behind me. That explains why there was one
Oui,
character
monsieur.
back there.
Va au diable! Vive la France!
Wow, that did more damage. So,
Oké, baas.
Bin getroffen!
Szefiku,
1832. Let's shoot twice.
Bin getroffen!
szefiku,
Eh? If it costs 18 to shoot. Oh, yeah, never mind. I failed at math.
Sir? Eat this!
Oh, nice shot. That looked like a critical hit, actually.
Panie? Gincie, dranie! Gincie! Cholera! Yes, sir. Go to hell!
Go to hell! Gabriel Parks is British, so it would seem.
Go to hell! Sir.
I'll wait for this guy to close in and then I'll take him out. So as you can see, it's
Fahr zur Hölle!
pretty much has the JA2 system of spending AP to improve shots and using AP to shoot and move.
Monsieur?
More dudes.
Mange ça! Va au diable!
I don't understand why sometimes that hits and sometimes it doesn't. Maybe it's got a chance to hit. I mean, this is all information I would love to have.
rozkaz szef.
I've always said this. In order for you to have a good strategy game, players need good information with which to make good decisions.
Potrzebuję kryci. Granat!
Oh, 91. Nice.
Sir?
How do I know where I've got a shot from? There's a bullet there marked 1. Does that mean I have 1 shot from that position? I would love to see, you know, just markers actually showing angles. I'm sure that these kind of details can find their way into the game at some point. See, I can't see how much it costs me to shoot. $21 seems to be the answer. But it's important to have that information on the command card of how much it costs to shoot. It is marked on the other things like Overwatch, Hunker Down, and how many AP would be left over after moving.
Cover me! Go there!
Got him.
Cover me! Die, bastard! Die!
Nice shooting.
I missed! Panie? Gincie, dranie! Gincie!
Nice.
Sir, yes, sir. Okay, boss.
Either out of sight or out of range. Personally, I would like to see an amount of AP that's just for moving. Because it keeps things dynamic.
Eindringling!
I just genuinely believe that it's a problem when all the AP can be used for attacking. It means that there's no reason to attack. Because more often than not, it's better to shoot twice than it is to move a little bit and shoot once.
Monsieur?
Oh, Charlie Summers took a hit there.
Va au diable!
Man, it's not actually doing a huge amount of damage.
Sir, yes, sir. Loop daar binnen.
It's not bad.
Yes, sir! Cover me! Go to hell!
Man, this guy's a good shot.
Eat this! Go to hell!
I say that as he misses a shot, but I mean his chances to hit are actually super high.
Osłaniaj mnie!
I've got this guy coming up behind me, haven't I?
To sypiesz, szefie. Rozkaz, szefie.
50-50.
I do pekla.
Friss das! Fahr zur Hölle!
Ah, they're just having a bad time, huh?
Monsieur?
I really would like to see, you know, maybe a smaller cone that you aimed with a range marker at the end to show how far it shoots. And if it's got percentage chances to hit, then it should show those as well.
Vive la France! Vive la France! Gincie, dranie! Gincie!
Oh, I missed twice at 89.
Rozkaz, szefie.
Well, that's definitely channeling the XCOM.
Ty do pekla! Szefiku,
Yes, sir. Sir?
See,
Cover me.
where have I got sight? It's hard to know.
Eat this! Sir, yes, sir. Sir, yes, sir. We fight for freedom. Sir, yes, sir. Go to hell!
Oh, nice. Man, I can't believe he missed twice. That was pretty bad.
Sterf, lad! Sterf!
I'm hit!
Scheiße! Drecksack!
Oh, he's hit.
Je bouge. J'ai raté.
Wow, is this guy
Oui,
like
monsieur.
Neo from the Matrix or something?
Je bouge.
The amount of
Już się robi.
high rated chance shots I've missed on this guy. Can't miss if it's 100%, right?
Yes, sir.
Right?
I'm moving. Go to hell. We fight for freedom. Yes, sir.
Freedom! That's how you can tell he's American. Can't shut up about freedom. Give him a grenade. I can't see how many. I'm going to presume it's 10, but I can't see how many AP it's going to cost me to move here because the actual foliage is in the way. That's pretty. That's a pretty annoying problem. Ah, apparently the old British Bean has got 47 AP to play with, which is incredible.
Grenade.
Grenade! Oh, that's pretty fun. He flew.
I missed.
Sir, yes, sir!
Do it for Murica.
Back on.
Okay. So as far as let me just murder the music. As nice as the music is, let me just murder it dead. Hang on. Okay, alright. I don't know if that's actually decreased the volume for you guys or not. Let me do it. Let me just do it here. There we go. Okay. Okay, it's definitely dead now. Okay, what we have here is a game that is mechanically like Jagged Alliance 2. It looks like XCOM with the high cover, mid cover mechanic and the square, moving around in squares. But what most people don't realize is that Jagged Alliance 2 had that mechanic. It had those mechanics. They just weren't obvious, but they were there. The infamous rocks and trees that absorbed bullets in Jagged Alliance. They were literally the same thing. They were either considered to be high, like a full cover or half cover, depending on their size and depending on your stance. It was a little bit more complicated, but it achieved the same thing, and it was done mathematically. So when you were shooting at somebody and you hit the rock, it wasn't like a physics thing. It looked like a physics thing, in that you were shooting at the enemy and hitting the rock in front of them. But what that meant was that you would have hit them if not for the rock. But you still could hit them if you were lucky enough in your calculations behind the scenes in Jagged Alliance 2, and you shot at somebody and you hit the rock. If you took the same shot again, you could hit them. And that would be that your shot was so good that it still hit them despite the rock modifier. But the whole AP and spending AP to aim kind of thing, and even the way the grenades sort of bounce around and stuff, that's more reminiscent of JA2 as presented as if it were XCOM. And because it's got JA2 style mechanics, it's going to have JA2 style problems. Now, here's the thing. I do think that JA2 is one of the best tactical games ever made. But I am not so blind as to not see that it did have some real issues. And it came out at a time when there wasn't any good competition at all, which really helped it out a lot. It's still, even by today's standards, a great game. But the two biggest faults of Jagged Alliance 2, and I mentioned this in my campaign, is one, that Jagged Alliance 2 becomes very statistically driven towards the end, as in when you're fighting in buildings and in tight spaces and such, the whole interrupt system it is just done on calculations. It's just done on your stats versus their stats and some randomness thrown in. And so if you grind your characters up to maximum stats and then walk into the end areas, you constantly interrupt the enemy and you look like a genius and you just destroy them easily and it's no problem. You go in there with your stats in the mid 70s, 80s, like I did, because I didn't grind up towards the end. You start losing people left, right and centre because you're the one getting interrupted. You're losing the rolls and then you're getting killed for it. Now, this game does not appear to have an interrupt system like JA2, in that it has an Overwatch system like XCOM. So I'm not sure how much of an issue that would be, but I still see the potential for that issue, because what's to stop someone, for example, either you or the enemy from gathering in a bunker and just hitting the Overwatch button over and over and over until somebody, and it's going to be the AI because, you know, designers always make the AI attack. They have to. It's not their fault. Wants to stop someone from just sitting behind cover, in cover, behind a wall, you know, in a competent way, just overwatching over and over and over non-stop. That's the first problem I see. And when I say overwatching, I'm going to presume that the person is competent. I'm not going to presume that they're going to overwatch right next to the door where potentially a grenade could be thrown to flush them away from the door. I'm going to presume that they're going to, you know, be smart and actually overwatch. Like if the door is here, they're going to overwatch on the left and right walls facing inwards, because that is so hard to do anything about unless you can like break the walls from the outside or something along those lines. It's like that room in Jagged Alliance, that donut building. It's one of the most infamous battles in the game because it's quite early on, and it really shows you the problems where you have this building that's like a donut with a smallish building. It's the second SAM site, Central SAM site, I think it is. And you've got this building, and there's one entrance in the top corner, and there's like 2 or 3 enemies just sat in the other corners, pointed at the door. And it's so hard to get through that door without taking ass loads of damage. And even if you put down smoke, it doesn't really help you that much, because as soon as you come out of the smoke, or the smoke fades away, the enemies are still just pointed at you. And it's not easy to see them, and they're far enough away from the door that it's difficult to get grenades on them to from any kind of safe angle to flush them out. So that's one problem. The other thing that I see is turreting, and this happened in Jagged Alliance 2 a lot as well. And you know, no one minded it because it was the classic gameplay of the time. Jagged Alliance 2 was an amazing game in every other aspect. But almost everyone who played Jagged Alliance 2 would just do this thing where they would just go prone and just shoot at the enemy non-stop without moving until the enemy was dead. There was almost no dynamic play, and the reason why was because it was so expensive to move your characters that if you moved your characters any useful length of distance, then you had no AP left with which to attack. And so what you were doing was that you were spending your AP to get into a better position, but more often than not, you were also putting yourself in a better position for the enemy to shoot you. And so it made no sense to move. Why would you move towards the enemy to get a better shot, maybe get a better shot, if the enemy then, next turn, presuming that they survive, which they probably will, gets 3 better shots, because now you're closer, but they didn't move. So now they get to spend every single action point on shooting you. And so the turreting, the greatest thing that the XCOM remake did for the genre, which made it so successful, is it split attack and defense as 2 separate action, movement and attack as 2 separate actions. So you could choose to just sit still and shoot, but you were wasting your move by doing that. So people were always thinking on 2 different tracks of strategy. They were thinking about how to spend their move and how to spend their attack. There is no doubt in my mind that had XCOM the remake adopted the old XCOM system, which was AP based just like Jagged Alliance 2 was, that people would just sit still and shoot non-stop. I mean, people still sit still behind cover and shoot non-stop and waste those attack actions because sometimes it doesn't make any sense to move. But there's no reason to, you know, effectively double the power of of sitting on your ass by giving them extra attacks for sitting on their ass. Not from a tactical gameplay strategic perspective. And so that is something I hope the developer really considers changing. Even if it's just that each character gets maybe 14 or 10 special movement action points. This has been done before, where, you know, a character will get, say, 40 AP plus 10, and the 10 will be movement action points, and though they can only be used on movement, and if you take any movement action, they'll be used first. Something like that, just to, you know, give some incentive to move. Because more often than not, there's no incentive to move. And, you know, just to give you an example, say you could have 2 shots or a 1 shot and a movement. 2 shots at 50% plus chance to hit is just flat out going to be better than anything you could do with a movement and a shot. Even if you moved and gained 100% chance to hit, right? That is a guarantee that you get 1 hit. Now, in theory, 2 shots at any percentage greater than 50% has got more chance to do more damage than 1 guaranteed shot after moving. So the threshold for sitting on your ass and just firing non-stop is quite low. Now you may say, okay, you've moved to a position where you've got 100% chance to hit. You know, future shots are all going to be 100% chance to hit. But that presumes that the other guy is not going to move. Which he might. But it also presumes that the other guy now doesn't have 100% chance to hit. If he's also now got 100% chance to hit, and he starts shooting non-stop, well, you've just moved to get 1 guaranteed hit to give him 2 guaranteed hits. Which is not, you know, that's not a great idea. So anyway, these are my thoughts on Forgotten but Unbroken. It is an alpha, there's no content. It's just a tech demo, really. So I'm not going to, you know, judge it like it's a finished game, because it blatantly isn't. I hope you guys enjoyed this little preview into it. I hope the developer finds my thoughts on this alpha useful. There is great potential here, but I would say we need to think about, or I would hope that the developer, you know, takes my thoughts to heart here and thinks about the essential problem of Overwatch, like statistical grinding, as it were, which, based on the new game, based on this menu, it looks like the guys are going to have stats. It's, you know, there's attributes and perks here, so I'm going to presume that guys are going to have all kinds of statistics and stuff. So think about the problem with just sitting on your ass and overwatching being too good, and sort of in a related problem, the issues with movement and shooting both costing AP, leading to turreting, to static gameplay. I brought up this issue with the guys who are making Urban Strife, and they actually made a change. It did not go for movement AP, which some games have gone for, but they went for the idea that if you spent all your AP on a long movement, that your evasion would go up dramatically until the start of your next turn, which means that which is kind of the Battletech solution. The Battletech solution is not a bad solution. It just means that basically you can move, you know, take a big movement, be very hard to hit, and thus break the overwatch of the enemy, who will shoot at this highly evasive target, and that target continues to be a pain in the ass to actually hit until the start of their next turn. So you can get into a better position at little risk, but you have to sacrifice your ability to attack, and that's fine. That's actually a reasonable solution. That's what Battletech does. The Urban Strife guys actually, I spoke to them at great length about this issue and how it's been solved in a couple of other games. and they immediately went with that. So that is very cool. And so, you know, it leads me to hope that when developers do ask me to have a look at their alpha and see what I think, that they do listen, and that they do listen to you guys. So, I mean, do get your thoughts down in the comments about what you would like to see in this fledgling game. I mean, as far as the engine goes, all seems very good to me. It looks good, you know. It's got that XCOM World War II XCOM feel. I love XCOM style games, so I'm never going to say no. Yeah, that is it for now. I hope you guys enjoyed this, and I will see you guys next time.